Hello and welcome to another video by Rick Miracle, me, in my series Year 2020 Rick Miracle Report. This is number 25. I was watching a Deborah Traveris video the other day, and that's what I do. I read books, I do research material, I watch videos, and then I go check on what they're talking about, trying to see what I should believe and what I should not believe. Make sense? So anyways, she has this one series recently, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. And you can look up Deborah Traveris, stopthecrime.net, and see the recent videos on YouTube with the 4 parts. Anyway, she mentioned this document, and I think it's quite serious. Secret document revealed. Well, let's see if I can get a clear picture here. Planned chemical sedation of the population. Radio microwave frequencies for mass mind control. Aquarius Group operation briefing. So I'm convinced that with these technologies, something called 5G, awareness and accountability, all these transmitters aimed at our houses. You can look up Joss Del Sol and see all the people that he hosted, had interviews on YouTube. Big, thick, 1,000-page book here. And it's all about these nasty little things, the cell phone towers. But that's not it. There's much more to the program. So it does involve, apparently, some kind of eugenics, DNA manipulation, fine-tuning their technical capabilities on changing we humans into more mindless, controlled robots. That's the problem they have. We people are free thinking, and that's caused these Satanist, communist, Zionist secret societies, Luciferic societies, banksters. It's caused them some problems. So apparently, since World War II, they have worked intensely on how to control people, how to create Manchurian candidates and assassins, so that they could just make a phone call and trigger a person. And there's so much here to read. I'll just take a little bit from the front and then read some from the document here. Looks like it's about 50 pages, so you can go look it up. I just searched this here. Aquarius Group operations briefing, planned chemical sedation of the population, radio microwave frequencies for mass mind control. And on Deborah Traveris' website, you should be able to find it, as well as on the internet like I did. Print it out, PDF free. So let me just jump into a story for 30 minutes. It was under the Reagan administrations, page 7, and Bush administration, that many of the advanced methods were implemented to control the leaks and security breaches in the federal government. The National Program Office, NPO, was very successful in administering such procedures for various intelligence, industrial, military interests. In addition to the CIA courier training, it was uncovered during Mrs. Jones' deprogramming that some additional training of sorts by the CIA had also been given to her. In particular, a type of training which would take a previously non-prejudiced individual and install in them an absolute hatred for a chosen religious or ethnic personages. This was particularly common in the mind control training of assassins and insurgents. So insurgents are people who resist the government control. And all those people who resisted the destruction of Iraq were called insurgents when they would go plead for food and water and milk for their children, etc., etc. They were called insurgents and they were killed. So anybody who gets in the way of the program, destruction of Iraq, is called an insurgent. And of course, assassins needs no explanation. But think about this, mind control. How can they do it? So apparently this one lady had some mental issues and had to see a doctor, and it involved hypnotism, and he discovered that she had a second personality, and it's quite bizarre. And there's plenty of evidence about this. MK Ultra, Project Montauk, and so much more on the internet and books out there. I'll just give you a brief example of how they do it. One is drugs or hypnosis. They take somebody over with hypnosis or drugs, and they program them. They maybe have a tape recorder, and they repeat, they repeat, they repeat. The black people are evil, the Jewish people are evil, the Mexicans are evil, the Christians are evil. And sometimes they blindfold them and put them in a dark room with no sounds, and they have a loudspeaker, and they just barrage them 24 hours. Boom, 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 boom. And as you can imagine, it drives people completely insane, but they have been programmed. That's when we've all heard about waterboarding, putting a sheet or a towel over somebody's face and dropping a drop of water. So it's like a perpetual drowning. And these are the people who run our world. So anyways, in a deprogramming session recorded on April 10th, 1974, so 75, 85, 95 years our government has been perfecting this. I think now with the dumping of heavy metals in the sky and the toxins and stuff in our foods and mental programming via the video games, TV, cartoons, newspapers, and stress, and so much more, that they're programming we the people right now all over the planet, testing the system using AI, artificial intelligence. And according to Deborah Travers and other videos on YouTube that I've been watching, I'm not the only one who put this together. 1,000 pages here. So when they put the heavy metals in our bodies via the sky spraying, dumping of heavy metals in the sky, and apparently that certain recipes, so that it gets in our body, a formula for forming polymers, some kind of heavy metal junction or joining with our DNA, our cells, which the microwave transmissions can tune into and literally create effects in our bodies. And then they also can send a burst of microwave energy at us at a pulse rate and put a carrier or a signal on the carrier. Just like they do on an FM radio station or AM, they have a frequency 102 or 95, whatever. But then they have the signal on the carrier, and they can pulse radiations, microwaves that we can't see or hear, but they can put an audio, a lower frequency carrier on it. Your brain will pick it up and think it's that you are thinking those thoughts. And apparently it's a long process, maybe months, maybe a year, with the stuff in the food, the stuff in the water, the stuff in the air, and the constant programming and the AI and the super beast computers to sync up with you, like you sync up your iPhone with the stereo or something to transmit everything down. They want to sync up with you or I. And apparently they have perfected it. And a lot of people are called TIs, targeted individuals. So in this particular article, it's talking about programming people to hate black people, to hate Jewish people, to go out there and do shootings, and then after that, to kill themselves. And it's in this document, and it's in so many other places, or I wouldn't be talking about it. I've made a lot of videos. I have almost 2,000 books and 700 videos, and YouTube canceled my channel July 2019, along with many other people's channels. But let me get to the story. So, in addition to the CIA courier training, I said this, the CIA had been giving to her a type of training which would take a previously non-prejudiced individual and install in them an absolute hatred for a chosen religious or ethnic personage. This is particularly common in mind control training for assassins and insurgents. In a deprogramming session recorded on April 10th, 1974, Arlene emerged in an especially angry and hostile mood. Arlene berated Candy, so the person's name was Candy, and her alter ego, or created second personality, was Arlene. Arlene berated Candy for several minutes and also attacked Candy's mother in a verbal triad which questioned her mother's sanity. Arlene took great pride in relaying how she and Candy had visited Candy's mother in the hospital and how she, Arlene, had succeeded in greatly upsetting Candy's mother by verbally attacking her. So apparently, you can, if you're one of these people that have been mind controlled and you have the second personality, apparently sometimes it can come out on its own and take over the situation. And the individual Candy would kind of would black out and not remember it, while Arlene was doing this rant. During this session, Arlene began to display an obvious dislike towards Jews as she went into a triad all over the kike doctors, I guess that's some people call Jews kikes, which were at the hospital. After 15 minutes into the hypnotic session, so this doctor had hypnotized her, Arlene bragged that Dr. Grolesh had told her all about filthy Jews, and she said it was thanks to him I was able to realize what Jews are really like. Now think about all these school shootings, especially in the New England area where the Jewish temples are attacked, and other ones. And you may ask, why would they do that, Rick? Well, they do want a global world order, and they do need to step up police activity, controlling people, surveillance system. We all know about that, artificial intelligence. So the only way people are going to let the government do these things and pass these laws, if the people can be convinced that a problem does exist, and people, they're going to do it at such an increased quantity that people, according to some of the documents I've been reading, the citizens at large will be begging for police action, begging to have everybody disarmed, begging to have everybody watched, because of these mass amounts of people who will be mind controlled and sent out on destructive missions, and then afterwards apparently they don't remember anything. And we've seen all these people who were accused of school shootings, etc., and they look like they're zombies. We find out they were under psychiatric care. We find out they were taking drugs. So it seems like they're testing the system. They're installing more microwave transmitters. They're dumping probably new recipes of chemicals and biological stuff into the sky, and new software programs like apps on your phone. So the artificial intelligence computers are busy assimilating data on us and probably programming us to some degree which we don't realize. And I think I have reason to believe this, But those phone calls we get for health insurance or your car's warranty is down, those weird phone calls that come on your phone regularly every day, I think picking up the phone and listening to it is the carrier transmission, and what you can't hear is an audiogram. You're being programmed. So I think that's why they do it every day, all week, all month, and they're fine-tuning it until they can get your trigger frequency. And remember, we all have auric fields around our body. We have this magnetic field called the aura, and I think your phone can sync up to it and transmit what you're thinking and particular characteristics of your auric field back to the AI computer. And I believe these technologies are moving right along. And at some point, they're going to turn it all on. And it could be with the coronavirus issue, which even, what's his name? David Icke had a video today, as well as the Deborah Travers videos, saying that over there in China, 1 billion people almost, the whole country is being policed and martial law, told to stay at home. And they're getting congratulations from leaders all over the world on handling the whole population in that manner. And I believe they're going to, this may be the event or it may not be, but at some point they're going to turn the whole system on. And I got a text on my phone that said that the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, that there was a concern in the U.S. for the coronavirus. This was like 2 days ago. So I believe it is all kicking in, and they can program people to dislike, like in this case, Jews or black people. And it's quite clear in this document. Candy was also questioned during this session, uncovering other details. What ethnic groups does Dr. Grolish consider bad or dangerous? So apparently this Grolish, Grolelsch, was working for the CIA, and they were actually having classes in Texas where he would be programming groups of people sent there by their psychiatrists and other organizations. So Candy said, oh, the Jewish people, of course. So Dr. Grolish considers Jewish people dangerous and bad, according to the class she went to. He calls them kikes, and also the American Niggers, I don't want to say it, as he always called them. You know, it was funny. He was a German Jew himself, but he became enraged whenever I would remind him of that. He told me there was a difference between some German Jews and other Jews. Let me address that in this document, because I've been talking about that again and again and again. And so are apparently Deborah Travers and David Icke. The Jews from the north, between Germany and Russia, Khazars, Khazarians, are called Ashkenazi Jews. And if you go look up Ashkenazi Jews, they appear to have some health issues and mental defects. And one is, I think they have a Napoleon complex, and they hate the Jews that are actually the old Arabs, Hebrews, called Shepherdic Jews, shepherds. So in World War II, it is my theory that I have convinced myself because of so much research that the Shepherdic or the Torah Jews were the ones who had to be destroyed or put in prison camps. The Ashkenazi Jews, white northern people who were into the Talmud, Kabbalah, witchcraft, didn't want them because they were opposed to the Talmud and Kabbalah. They were Torah Jews, Shepherdic Jews, old-fashioned Jews who weren't going along with the plans for a global world order in Zionism. And I was surprised, even Deborah Travers is talking about it, David Icke is talking about it. It seems like it's getting out there into the public everywhere that this is who we're dealing with. We're dealing, and they don't have to be of any particular race in any country, as we've noticed even here in the United States. At the Burning Man ceremony recently, if you look up the pictures, it's a witchcraft type of thing. They build this big straw man, a great big gigantic wooden cage that looks like a man, and they put real men in there. They tie them up and they're going to kill them. They set it on fire. A huge sacrifice for the victims. So right here, the Candy, who is being programmed by this CIA doctor, says there are Jews. Some German Jews are good and some are not. And he seems like he really hates them. So it does have some kind of religious cult component to it. So the doctor says, before you met Dr. Grulish, how did you feel about people of the Jewish faith? This is why I wanted to read this, to explain what I've been saying all along about these bombings and all of this false flag activity, Boston bombing and Sandy Hook shooting and so much more. So before she was programmed and went to these classes, she said, I didn't really feel anything. It wasn't really ever something of personal concern, you know. I mean, before I worked for the agency, CIA, I had many Jewish friends and business associates. Candy was a model and she had a small modeling agency. During the next session, it was decided that the hypnotherapist would take on the identity of Dr. Grulish. He instructed Arlene that he was indeed Dr. Grulish and that he wished to speak to her. Doctor, as Grulish, do you hate me? Arlene, the programmed identity, I only hate things that are worth hating. You taught me that. The doctor, I'm not worth hating? Is that it? Arlene, you should know. You taught me everything you know. Like only hate, that it is well worth hating. So this is the programmed person, not the Candy, the normal person. Doctor, well, that's pretty good advice I gave you, isn't it? Arlene, well, everything's worth hating according to you. The doctor, this is what she's being taught. I never said you should hate everything and everyone, did I? And Arlene says, you hate yourself. And you pretty much hate everyone and everything. Doctor, I don't think I've told you to hate everyone, though, did I? Arlene, that's what it boils down to. You said there was hate in everybody, and sooner or later it all comes pouring out. Now I have to say this. This mystery religion of Babylon, the Whore of Babylon, the Kabbalah, the Rainbow Coalition, Satanism, the symbols are everywhere. These people worshiping the devil, they really do hate everybody else, and they want to destroy everybody else, because bad people don't want to admit they're bad. They're mentally ill when you get to the point of tattooing demons on your body and these all-seeing eyes and daggers. You've seen it everywhere. Body piercing their skulls and ears and neck and throat and lips and nose and private parts and all that. You can tell that a good portion of the population has been sucked into this programmed tunnel, so to speak, like a time tunnel. And we all better wake up. This is an urgent situation. In this period of time, another CIA programmer's name was uncovered in the sessions. This was an individual known to Arlene and Candy only as Dr. Brenner. It was discovered that Candy had made several trips to California to attend some classes of Dr. Brenner's. The classes referred to were classes regarding ethnic cleansing, racial purity. During one of the deprogramming sessions, it was also uncovered that Dr. Brenner also held some seminars on hypnosis. So the doctor, her psychiatrist who's helping her because of her mental problems, she couldn't sleep. And when he hypnotized her, he discovered this second personality. So he's asking her all these questions to try to learn about this stuff. So her psychiatrist, pretending to be the Dr. Goulash, did you attend many of Dr. Brenner's lectures in California? Candy says, yes. It is a class which teaches ethnic hatred. It's just his regular lectures. It's the same thing all the time. He also gives lectures on hypnosis. Doctor, what does Brenner generally say in his ethnic group classes? And again, if this was the only source of this conversation that I had, and I hadn't been doing research for 15 years, going on 16 years, I wouldn't be believing what I'm sharing and taking pictures of the chemtrails and seeing so much information. All these professional scientists and other people going on Joss Del Sol's show on YouTube, his channel, and discussing this, and then they put all those conversations into this big thick book. I've read the names of all the people. A lot of us know that we watch their videos on YouTube. And this thing with David Icke and the coronavirus and so many other people, apparently they have a P4 biological laboratory in Wahoo. I printed out that document where the coronavirus broke out. And apparently the Iranian leaders apparently have come down with the coronavirus, according to David Icke this morning. Now that's pretty specific. According to David Icke and his person he was talking to, and I know this is true, everything is a frequency. We, each individual, have our own special frequency. Each human's DNA has a specific frequency pattern. We're all different. We look different, we act different, we're different. And the computers can sync up to that. And the same thing with viruses and diseases, they all have frequencies. So if the government has perfected that and put the heavy metals in us and other biological materials, they can, if they know the right frequency for your genotype, you, and they've been syncing you up, they could cause any of us to have these different diseases. So it's all programmable. Quite sinister, actually. So anyways, back to this article. Arlene, I don't know. He said I should be careful in what I say to certain types of people. So the doctor says, here's his notes here. It became apparent that this particular early case of mind control involved previously unknown or unestablished hates and dislikes against other races, and the developing hostilities where there had not been previously existed. The agent or personnel previously involved with the agency operations of mind control and thought manipulation will be also to identify the operational similarities to some of the MK Ultra operational training. And all of this came out in the 70s. They had hearings in the Senate and the House of Representatives and passed laws and instructed the CIA to cease and desist. But I'm quite confident that they did not cease and desist, that they've pretty much taken over our governments. Most of the representatives and senators and presidents have come from the secret societies. Even President Donald Trump had a Kabbalah teacher, and apparently Larry Nichols on YouTube with Alex Jones said she would go away on weekends to Las Vegas or California for witchcraft conventions, ceremonies. So we really do have the satanic forces in control of our world. And all of this is in perfect alignment with the biblical prophecy. And we can see it around us if we want to look. And the TV programming, the new movies, The Man in the High Castle and other stuff on Amazon and other channels, it keeps up bringing up the theme, programming, that the Jews are being treated badly and the evil white Nazis are after everybody. On the shows I've been watching repeatedly. And I'm probably getting some of the chemicals in my water and my beverages and and in my food and the radiated signals and all that and the heavy metals and all that, and I'm watching the TV. Get it? It's going on and on and on and on and on. We're watching it. We're getting sucked in. We see these people getting stabbed with knives and gunshots to the head, and everything is exploding. We're being desensitized. We're being programmed. Crazy. How far have they gone? Where will it end? When will they turn the whole system on? During outside testing, Candy had very high ratings on scent test given to her. So apparently she was programmed, hypnotized to pick up on the scent of people. This is largely due to the emphasis which her hyper programmers, hypno-programmers for the CIA operations had installed in her regarding the particular odors given off by certain ethnic groups. So apparently she could smell if somebody was Jewish and smell if somebody was black, according to the teachings from this CIA mind control doctor. In a session recorded on April 13, 1974, Kathy, while under hypnotic regression, made several remarks concerning the fact that she believed all black people had a particular smell. So my 30 minutes are up. I can't go any further. I'm telling you clearly, I believe this is all real, and we are in danger. Cell phone towers are going up. Josh Jassol had all these interviews with all these people. There's so many videos. You go look it up on YouTube and see that the MK Ultra, Project Montauk, mind control, and the AI, artificial intelligence, and the Jade Helm 15, when they were going from door to door, practicing disarmament and all of that. It was in the YouTubes and going crazy back then. And trains were shipping tanks and trucks with big UN signals, military equipment all over the country. They were programming us. They were getting us ready. And now with this coronavirus, it could be the thing. And the stock market is plummeting for the past 2 days. Monday could be the day. And the whole thing could go south to be a disaster. And they could turn on the AI systems on all these cell phone towers, instruct everybody that martial law has been put into effect, and everybody had to stay at home, and everybody had to turn in their guns. They know who everybody is. They know where everybody is, just like you can see on your cell phone, your car on a map when you're driving down the road. These are our IDs that they ping, and they know where we are. So the first thing I guess we all should do is, if they do this, you got to get rid of your cell phone so they don't know where you are. And they can't hear you. They can hear me right now. And they can use the smartphone, the smart TV, the smart meter, the smart refrigerator, the smart car. They have all these technologies installed everywhere, and AI is listening. AI is listening to me now. My other cell phone, when I mentioned Siri to my girlfriend, the phone actually said, I'm busy right now. I can't talk to you. Siri did that on the phone. I know it's on these phones. I turn it off. But apparently it was listening. And apparently if you say something that gets caught on the AI, artificial intelligence computer, let's say you're planning some kind of an attack on something, they're alerted and they're on their way. So we're in a situation in this world, so it seems. Thank you for listening to my rant on this crazy topic. Rick Miracle reporting.